Hi, friends. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. This is Angela with Wild Violets Art, and tonight I am playing with the Heirloom Arrangements. I'm going to make some cards, but I'm also going to make a really cute box. So, Stampin' Up! Started doing a creative challenge. I don't remember which month back it was, but they've had some really beautiful alternates for kits, for stamp sets, for sweets, a number of things. And I loved the cute boxes that they showed in one of their creative challenges. It was a little bit of a challenge to find it again because there was a Facebook Live that gave me an opportunity to see how to make it. So I'm showing you. All right, so let's get to it. So just as a reminder, the Heirlooms Arrangement Kit are beautiful A2 cards. It's all-inclusive kit, and it includes 8 cards, and not a single one of them is the same. So that means you can mix and match all the ephemera that comes in this kit and create lots of different cards. Now, if you watched on Friday, you will have seen my scrapbook layout that I did with the ephemera pack. So these are cards, and I used the botanical textures to the dies to cut out, and those are textured notes. I used those dies to cut out the cards from the kit and make them as background, and then I added the ephemera, a couple of things that aren't part of it, but this is the sentiment from the kit, or from the textured notes. And then, of course, this was a sentiment from Celebration, but this one is from Everyday You and Me, the Together. So it all worked out, made for a beautiful layout of my grandchildren, and super happy. I've been wanting to scrapbook with this kit. So, okay, so the kit has 4 different card types, a total of 2 each. And so you get these 4 different cards. This one has a little bit of a light pink with pretty in pink. This looks like it's pecan pie with a little bit of a tone that's a little different, like beige. And then this one, I think that it's pretty peacock, but it's hard to tell because this is a real light background. And then this one, I'm not real sure. It could be just a mix of pink and Cajun craze because I couldn't get this to match. You can see this is pretty in pink and it doesn't match. It more matches this. So those are the cards. Really beautiful. I love the vintage. And then this is like an old or a distressed weave. And then they've got these great sentiments. So thankful and grateful. I appreciate your kindness. Thank you for you. I feel lucky to have you. And then it has this stamp that gives a great little background, and then a moth. And so really pretty moth. Okay, so there's all these little sentiment tags, which are great. And then they have matching envelopes as well. But I just want to show you all the ephemera. So take a look. These are tags here. And then these are like background enhancements. More tags or elements. And you can see all the different choices. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 6 different things, and I used something from each one. And then here's more. I've used a few of these. And you can see the butterflies, another tag. Then this is beautiful vellum, and each one is different. Like I said, there's not a single one that's duplicate. And then I've got these really beautiful botanicals that go as well. We have envelopes that match, that have that really pretty distressed weave pattern on it. And the envelopes, there's actually 2 different ones. There's some that have the pattern that matches the cards, and there's some that have this weave. So really great choices. And you can take the envelopes apart, excuse me, but it's only on one side. It's not on the inside. So, okay. There's obviously tear and tape and dimensionals. You've got your block for your stamp sets. And, okay. So what I want to do is I want to put together one of the cards the way that they show us that we need to do it. So, and then I'll show you how to do the box. And I'm also going to show you another card alternate. Okay, so I'm going to need both of these for my little box. And I'm not going to use my little Stampin' Spot, though these, you know, you don't want to turn your nose at them because they are really useful when you're trying to save money. You can get the refills, the pecan pie refill, and continue to use this for years because it's really durable material. Obviously, if you're looking for something that's got a little bit more size to it, I do like the full size stamp pads. So either way, okay. So this has instructions for only 2 cards, okay? The blue one and the pinkish one, and then it shows you the fronts of the remaining. So let's just put together one of the cards. And let me just put this aside. And these are so beautiful. You could easily cut them in half and use them twice. So you could have twice as many cards. But I told you I'd put one together the way it's supposed to be. So I like this one. It's got the print going this way here, and it's got it going this way. So this, I want it to be my front. Okay. So first of all, they have the envelope that needs to be stamped. And this is the matching envelope for this card. And so on this side, they want you to add this little pattern here, and then add the moth. Isn't that pretty? So just a really easy, I need this again though. Okay, so this is the envelope. And then using the sentiment, we're going to stamp for you on this. Well, I'm going to do thank you instead. Thank you right here. Okay. And you have more than enough in case you make a boo-boo. And you also have 2 sides. So I don't really like this because I smeared it a little bit. So I'm going to turn it over and be a little bit more careful. There, I like that better. All right. Okay, so one of the elements that this card needs is a floral. And wouldn't you know it, the floral that it wants is the one that I used for my scrapbook page. It wanted me to use this floral. So we're going to have to do something a little different. That's okay. I'll use this one instead. Okay, so that's just one from that. And then from the vellum, it wants me to use this really pretty floral with the pink flowers. And it wants me to use this butterfly. And then, so it's like you use something from every single one. And again, I used something that I was supposed to use for this, but we will try instead. I use this one. And then There's one other piece that I need to use. And it's this one right here. So there's a lot going on this card. And as you can see, you don't necessarily need to use all of this. If you feel like the card is too much or the items are too much, you can easily change it up. Okay. So this item goes down, it looks like it goes down first. So I'm just going to do a little tear and tape behind. And you can use glue if you want, but these are made to be all inclusive. So if somebody doesn't have glue, they provide you the adhesive, whatever adhesive you need. So that's why I love these kits. Okay. All right, so this goes down first in the middle of the card. And then I'm going to add more tear and tape to add this tag. And it's just going to go off to one side. And then I'll add this floral, and I'm going to need, so it looks like you put these together and then you add some tear and tape across both. Let's see which way I want it to go. So this is actually the correct size. And I hate covering up that pretty flower. Maybe I could just bump it out a little bit so it shows, peeks out. And then I've got a piece of tear and tape. And I'll put another one just to make sure that it doesn't wobble. So it just goes like so. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals for the back of my sentiment. And remember, I stamped on both sides. And I'll just put the sentiment up here. And then a couple of them behind my, I think this is a moth, not a butterfly, right down here. So this is really close to what they showed. I just didn't have the pink one because I had already used it, and I didn't have this floral with the blue in it, but it's still stunning. I mean, just really, really pretty. And again, you don't have to use all these layers if that's not what you want. You could use 3 elements or 2 elements and you'd make still a beautiful card. And if you cut it in half and put it on an A2 card base, then you could easily have twice as many cards. So let's give that a try. Let's do an alternate and maybe not add as many and do a little layering. Okay, so on this one, and so this is, of course, the envelope, and it's all ready to go. Really beautiful. Okay, so let's use this one, and let's cut it in half, but actually cut it down just a little bit so that it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to use an A2 card base, and then I want to use a little layer, and this is garden green. So when you go through the instructions, at the back of the instructions, it shows you kit components, and then it tells you coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors, basic black, blueberry bushel, let me get this closer, Cajun craze, cherry cobbler, crumb cake. Ah, that's what this is. This is cherry cobbler. Crumb cake, daffodil delight, garden green, old olive, pecan pie, pretty in pink, and pretty peacock. So I'm just going to layer this with the garden green because I think it will emphasize one of the green, and then we can use some of the elements to create another card. Okay, so I'm going to glue, let's fold this over first. And then we'll glue the garden green down. Then it just gives it a little bit more coordinating color with all the elements. And then I'm going to put the card front. And then I'm going to add some elements. So let's use this one. And look like another one of the elements that I used already. And here's another moth that coordinates. And I'm going to use this little flower and a piece of vellum. So let's see. And I think that's good. Maybe though I should do something other than this one, because this one kind of disappears, and I should use maybe this. Okay. So we'll just kind of figure out what we want it to look like. And we don't have nearly as many items. In fact, we can just leave that off and just have, though I do like the vellum. Let's change this around a little bit. There, I like that. And then we'll put in a sentiment. Okay, so let's use, I appreciate your kindness. Perfect. And of course you can stamp your envelope. I don't really need to do that just yet, but let me start assembling and then we'll get to the box. And in case you can't watch this all the way through, you can always catch my videos on YouTube and just scroll through till you get to where you want to be. Okay, and then I'm just going to place both of these together. And I think I'm going to use glue dots because, well, maybe the tear and tape will work. Okay. Let's put this across here. Just a little piece here. And then we could pop up the sentiment right here. I need to remember not to work off camera. I apologize if I did that. So, and then just a couple of them for my little moth. And that's pretty, and it doesn't have all the layers that they showed. So it's actually, yeah, they had like 2 different things here. And so I think this is just as beautiful. And then you can easily stamp the inside to match your envelope. Isn't that pretty? So, okay, so that's 2 cards. Slightly different than what the instructions show. Now I'm going to show you how to make a sweet little box. Okay, so keep in mind this does use up your cards a little faster. Okay, so you would need 2 of the cards for 1 box, and then you would need a piece of 3 1/4 and 3 1/4, and so I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, so this is what you need to do for your card base. So you can see it's got the score mark here. So what you want is you want a 1/2 inch score, you want another 1/2 inch cut, and then you're scoring at a 1/2 inch at the bottom, and you're scoring at 1 3/4 down. Okay, so it ends up having like a 3 3/4 inch box by, you know what? I don't know what the remaining distance is, and it looks like that's a little hard to read. 3 1/4 inches high. So 3 3/4, 3 by 3 3/4 by 3 1/4 inch high. So it gives you lots of room for goodies. And so I just want to show you real quick. This is what it looks like, and I'm doing it with another, just some very vanilla cardstock. Okay, and just going to show you how to put it together, and then we'll score and cut this and show you how to do that one as well. Okay, so what I'm doing after I've scored it and put it together, I'm going to take this tear and tape off the flap. Let me get this out of the way so you can see where the flap is. Okay, and then I'm just going to line this up with the fold mark. Okay, and then I'm going to line up the other side. And so I've got that score mark in there, and it looks like I forgot to do one little snip. Okay. So you can see that the box is like so. Okay. So to put the bottom on, I've got my 4 tabs folded down already. And then I've got my piece with tear and tape around 4 edges. And I want to say it's either this or you put them on the tabs, but it might be easier just to start and then, so you don't have a lot of trouble. I like doing this with the tear and tape where I peel a little bit back. So if you've got cards from a kit you don't know what to do with, I think this is a really great way. If you feel like you just have too many cards think it's a great way. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure this square is true, and then I can start placing my base on my box. So I'm making sure, like I said, that my box base is true, and then I can just start tearing off. I lost something. I need this to stick out so I can grab it afterwards. Okay. So here's the box. And then what you do is, I don't know if you remember doing this with old packing boxes or whatever, but you just sneak one corner and then you end up with this cute box. It doesn't close completely, but we're going to add a bow and a tag, so it's going to be really cute. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here so you can see it, and I'll get my cutter, and we're going to cut the two and score the two cards. Okay, so I'm using the one that's got pretty in pink, and then somewhere here got a pretty in pink base. So this will be my base. So you will have to have an extra piece to make this box, but super easy. Okay, so I'm going to score it at a 1/2 inch at the bottom. So I'm going to uncover this so you can see. And then I'm going to score it on the far side 1/2 inch. Oh no! I guess I'm going to cut that. It's not the side I wanted to cut. Okay. So what I did is I cut accidentally instead of scoring. Got to watch those blades. All right, so let's score this side 1/2. And then I am going to score from the, score from the top at 1 3/4. Okay. And hopefully you can see my numbers, but you may not be able to. Okay. Okay, so now you're thinking, well, there's all this pattern over here and no pattern over here. So what are you going to do about that? Well, what we can do is we can get the pretty in pink stamp pad. And I can use, let me just clean this off. And I can just place and I think I should have stamped it off. That's the way it's looking. It looks like it needs to be stamped off. So let's just see what it looks like. Stamped off. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. So let's just add one that's darker over here. And then add more. So. All right. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and do that to this one as well. So let's stamp it off. Okay, maybe one more in the middle. Okay. Now, I need to do this one the same way I did this one. So I cut off a 1/2 inch on this side. And then get rid of that cutter. And then I need a 1/2 inch at the bottom. And then I need a 1/2 inch on the other side. And then I need 1 3/4 for the top. Okay. Now let's bend at all the bend marks. Okay, and then we need to snip. Okay, so this is backwards, so let me turn it over so that it is the same. Okay, here we go. All right, so this needs to go here, and then I need to snip a little V right here, and then I need to snip here, and here, here, and then all the way up the side here. And then this one, you don't create a V, you just cut it. Okay. So you can see these are the same. All right, let's do another one, then we'll put it together. All right, so I'll get it. Okay. This is such a cute box. You will love it. So this needs to be cut straight. And this needs to be cut straight. Okay, so now we need, so this is the top. Put this aside. And this is the top. And we need tear and tape here and here. And then we're going to put tear and tape on all four sides on the bottom. And I'm going to lay the tear and tape as close to this to the fold as possible. And then I need it all the way around on the four sides here. Okay. All right, so the first thing I want to do is take one of these off. And you just want to take one off at a time when you're putting together your card. And then I'm going to line it up so it's lined up with the score mark. And then you can fold it together. And you're going to take this tear and tape off. And then it creates the box. And then I'm going to flip it over and push these down. And then this is the part that gets tricky. So I am going to, again, just take these off and flag them so that I don't get stuck with it being in the wrong place. Okay, I guess I could take one off. All right, so I want this one to be right along the edge. Okay, and then I can line up my box and make sure that it's in the right place. And then you can push from the inside to make sure that your box is together like it needs to be. And then you just start folding these down. And you've got your cute box. So you can see this is a significant size. This would fit a really beautiful candle. lots of goodies, socks, all kinds of things. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add ribbon. When I can't find my black and white check or my black and vanilla check to save my soul. So let's see, about how much do we need? I would say for this bow, you're going to need probably a good 25 inches. That'll give you plenty of room for a nice long flag. Okay. And then if you are wondering how I'm doing my bow and how I get them to lay, I've got a video on YouTube called Bows, Bows, Bows. And I just go through all my different bows. Okay. So cute little bow. Let's put this in the middle. Now let's create a tag from some of the ephemera. We're not going to use the vellum because I think it's just a little bit too, there's a little bit too fragile. Okay. So let's find one of the bigger items that will create a tag, like this one here creates a really pretty tag. And I think this flower here would be really pretty on it. And then I can look for one of the butterflies, or not butterflies, moths. And actually, I think I'm going to use this one. And then we can use one of the little sentiments, like these little ones. These, I don't know if you can see that very well, but we'll use one of the little ones to say for you. And we can cut it down if it feels like it's too big. Okay. Actually, what I can do is just use the edge of this because I think I want something smaller. Let's just cut it with my cutter so I can get my edges straight. Okay, so now let's just start assembling. And I'm going to punch out the little hole that's already here. And I'm going to use some of the linen thread and just enough for the tag. So I want to say about 11 inches is sufficient. And so we're going to fold this in half and thread it through. So we've got our little tag, and now we're going to start adding things to it. So I think the butterfly or the flower, and then there's just a cute little sentiment that says for you. Or we can put the sentiment up here and put the okay, so the first thing, let's just add dimensionals to all of it because I think that it's so pretty, and we'll have to be careful not to go over the edge with the dimensionals. So let me just make sure that I'm getting it on there. And then I can put my little for you up here. And I'm going to need a smaller dimensional. So I'll just cut some pieces. And then I'm going to need a glue dot for part of it so that it just lays flat. And then I'm just going to bend my little butterfly up a bit and then add this to the body. And then just add this to my gift box. Isn't it pretty? Just a little extra, and you've learned how to make a new box. Super easy. And you can use up some of those card kits that maybe you have. So, isn't that pretty? Just a beautiful little box. You can change up the ribbon to any color you want, but so cute with the little pink bottom. And ready to give. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed tonight, learning a little something new. I learned something new as well, and I hope you have a great evening. If you're watching later on YouTube, feel free to click like and subscribe. You can also love on my Facebook page or wow or whatever, other than like. Like seems to not get any attention, but I appreciate you watching and supporting me. Have a good evening.